Joining us now is Lucca Ruggieri. Lucca, good morning to you. You're not even Jewish. Your heritage is Italian, I understand. So what motivated you to write this article?
Well, first on, thanks for having me today. I thought that it was really important to highlight the fact that our elite institutions are, when they select who do they admit, they hurt, patriotic, smart, qualified Americans in favor of these DEI hires who shouldn't be there in the first place. But not only that, they hate America and everything that Western values stand for. So I think it's really crucial that someone speaks out against that. And I know a lot of people at Columbia agree with me, but these people, they terrorize students, so people are afraid to speak out. So I felt like somebody had to say something.
Yeah. Did you think that you would get this type of response? I mean, these hateful messages literally being made into a Nazi meme. What's it been like for you?
Well, it's not unexpected. This is a typical reaction for these sorts of people, but I think it really says something about the Columbia administration that if this was done to anybody from any other group, immediately there'd be a hate crime investigation. But here, they use the N-word, but the N-word for white people, Nazi. I think it's very offensive to be called a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. They make fun of my Italian heritage. The fact is, the Columbia administration doesn't care about anti-white discrimination. They only care about it when it affects groups that they care about.
Do you fear for your safety at all on campus?
Well, I mean, I've seen these protesters. They're not particularly athletic or well-built people, so I'm fairly confident I can fend them off if they come after me.
Have professors or anybody from the administration said anything to you?
I haven't heard anything. I got probably like an AI-generated email from Columbia, but I haven't had anybody actually reach out to me.
So we know that yesterday was initially the deadline. It was extended then to today, that the Trump administration gave Columbia to get a plan together to combat anti-Semitism or have $400 million in federal funding for Columbia pulled. So despite reports yesterday that Columbia was nearing a deal, now we're hearing overnight that the school is not even close. What's your reaction to Columbia still not doing what it needs to do to not just protect Jewish students, but to get that federal funding that it needs to give its students?
Well, I think that you need to completely overhaul the admission system at Columbia if the federal government is going to be funding it. Because what happens is that, Columbia and other Ivy League schools, this is the pipeline essentially to get into elite society in America. And instead of, finding people who are going to be good leaders for our country, who have the right values, they're using it to promote these foreign subversives. This is an American institution, and it should be used to promote Americans. And until they start doing that, I think there should be no taxpayer money going to the administration.
I know you're a freshman. I have to ask you, what's your major?
Economics.
Okay. All right. I think you have a great future ahead of you, especially somebody who's speaking up. Just before we let you go, what message do you want to send to students, both those who agree and disagree with you?
Well, I think people should be able to speak their mind, but the message I would send is that you're being given a tremendous opportunity to study at one of the most prestigious institutions in the world. You're given this opportunity, because of through the U.S. If you're here as a guest, you should not be speaking out against the United States or, just completely trashing the Western way of life and everything that we stand for. You're here as a guest, and if I went to Pakistan and started talking about how terrible Islam was, I don't think I'd last very long.
Good point. No, good point. You went there, you're a freshman, you went to this school. It's a sophisticated Ivy League school, one of the best in the country, right? Do you look at what it's doing now and the reputation that it's getting for these violent protests and for the people that are attending? Are you disappointed at all?
I am disappointed, but I don't think it's just Columbia. I mean, it's certainly gotten most of the spotlight, but it's not just Columbia. It's every elite institution. I think that academia in America is really rotten to its core, and we need to, rebuild it from the ground up.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.